Hello, dear friends. This is Stan Becker from Stan Becker Songs YouTube and Venice Community Housing YouTube, where I might upload this. I've been waiting to calm down a little bit and get centered, but that's not happening, so I'm going to go ahead anyway. This is Horizon Avenue in Venice, California, 90291. That's Horizon Apartments LLC, the most serially violent single address in Venice, and a cash cow NGO homeless industrial complex, tax exempt real estate investment equity trick. So cynical private donor class developer Carl Lambert Investments, who sold that property back to himself, as detailed in a review of my activities, my two channels, and Soledad Ursua, my personal relationship with her going back several years, a brand new hiree at HUD, Housing, Urban, and Development. I went MAGA full Trump in 2017 and started reporting about the HUD fraud now coming out of Judge Carter's court. And Valicia Adams Kellum, Los Angeles Housing Authority, which is really in the news today, except the Tracy Park news where she's hugging a kitty or distracting you with bullshit. CD 11, Pacific Palisades, Karen Bass, Tokyo, Paris, while felon Carl Lambert Investments had all the DWP power trucks right here with cranes and cutting tools and special equipment. I'm not going to now show you the 8 and 10 feet tall barricades on this. They can turn the tone up and down like an amplifier and the volume up and down, but my friend was killed. He was shot in the head and killed for trying to protect a woman. Where? On Westminster Avenue, right next to here, and all these felon Carl Lambert buildings, and Venice V Hotel, which is detailed in the Soledad Ursua HUD report that's gone straight to HUD. Thank God President Trump is in office. We're confident in Elon Musk and Doge. Very grateful for it as well. I'm a 73-year-old. Well, that's all gone into in great detail. Lifetime non-criminal, 45-year resident and local, with an accountable, accomplished background here, a real one. So what they do, I'm so distracted because that's where they have me, homeless. There was a death right 45 seconds from that parking spot right by the Bank of America, which gave $250,000 to St. Joseph Center. Valicia Adams Kellum, HUD fraud. Was also the Surfside cocaine cartel laundromat, machine gun shootings on both sides of that. So a lot of crime happens here you're not going to hear about, except for senior citizen reporter Stan Becker Songs YouTube, who would rather be writing hard luck love songs. Well, they're already written in my other songs, and maybe get back to the recording studio and do my job. And in a wayward way, it's suggested in that article that it's somewhat of a badge of honor that I didn't want to be the most viewed independent, unsigned, unaffiliated, independent songwriter, singer-songwriter in California. History for all the crap about art, the staged events. It's been a hostile takeover. And this street was redlined horrifically. Backhouse Jack V. Hoffman, the real estate agent for that deal when Lambert sold it back to him. So my friend is dead. He got shot in the head. I understand the police and the FBI were here. Another death on Lincoln Boulevard. The guy was here after my friend got Mary Klein got her face breaking, heartbreaking rapes and attacks on the Venice canals, which killed another woman who was beaten to brain death and anally raped. That was all damage control cover up by Tracy Park, who still considers that, and they're both all Ayula Marymount donor class baloney, because with Mike Bonin, personal real estate partnership with Eric Garcetti, what they call the Gay Mafia, funded by Ed Buck, who's covered in Queer Elite Ed Buck BuzzFeed 3-part series. Do your own research and have a vomit bag. The coroners have been here so many times. They've got another person casing me now. Well, that's good. That's good. Because Daryl is dead. And Christopher is dead. And Keith is dead. And Susan was video stalked by Sidney Zamora, the first residential manager in 2011, as there were 2 deaths right off the bat. How many case managers per death? How many medical experiments toward what might have been a suicide attempt or might have been a murder when Daryl was thrown off of or jumped off of that 3rd floor? That's just 1 floor of the last apartment I had in life. And then LaFoy lived in there after a sweetheart deal with, the Matrix, Larry Fishburne, one of his cousin or somebody, a direct relative to him, had a ocean view, 1-bedroom apartment. They don't have enough multi-million dollars, so that's where the homeless money went, directly related to all the BLM, LA, Becky Dennison, Steve Clare, Crack House, Jack V. Hoffman, Felon Carl Lambert Investments, Chamber of Commerce, Venice Neighborhood Council. My friend is dead. He is very kind to me. I sleep in the big hoodie that he came to my car and gave me on Christmas with a 20 and a present, along with his dear girlfriend. Worked at Wheat Chippy, people I've known for a long, long time. So then the other death around the corner in a car. Recently a homeless person was crushed to death, mangled so bad in the head that it was a challenge to identify them, and that person was caught and then released. This is Tracy Park CD11 Community Corporation of Santa Monica, Westside Coalition, Santa Monica Coalition. Doge, before Department of Government Efficiency, there was Stan Becker Songs YouTube in terror, bringing out Mockingbird Sings, while hacked and whacked with Section 3 cameras that you all pay for, with some real brute from Orange County. I mean, they have this locked up. So you're still thinking permanent supportive housing and affordable housing. Well, who wouldn't want affordable? Affordable everything. Hello, sweetheart. Huh. Here, we're going to still go. She came out of the barricades, brutally afraid, and properly so. That's where the FBI came yesterday, I'm being told. For sure, that's where. How many homeless deaths are there directly related to Horizon Apartments, including the man that was killed on Lincoln Boulevard right after the home invasion Joey told me and you about? Yeah, Matrix, Fishburne family, sweetheart deal. You know, Celebrity Rich, St. Joseph Center, Martin Sheen, Jamie Lee Curtis. Somehow, I don't want to get into that, but it's poverty pimp hell. These people take territory, treasure, and unelected purview. We're going to take you back to '05 with Mike Bonin's meeting with Roger Mahoney, commensurate with the largest pedophile protection racket in the United States. Eventually got censured by Rome. That's a cardinal. That's pretty significant. I'm going to take you back to that '05 meeting and the all aspect report, but deeper than that, because Newsom was there in San Francisco and they had this 10-year plan, and boy, they accomplished it. So when Newsom says, well, we don't know exactly where those billions went, but we're going to fix it in accountability, that's his job, to be a Pelosi crime family monkey. AOC was here with Bernie, a staged event, a Bernie rally. So much dirty money here. The stand down police, LAPD, we caught in the middle of that politics. God bless Sheriff Alex Villanueva, who came here and accomplished with just 2 squad cars, each with 1 pair of sheriff's officers, a female in one of them, a female sheriff officer. And, you know, those things are staged and profitable, like the Floyd mob riots. That's here, BLMLA. Patrice or Pamela, was it? Bought larger mansions in Topanga. The black community got nothing. They know it. That's a man dying on the 3rd floor, bullied. We've got those videos. It doesn't matter. The Venice Neighborhood Council is more than complicit. They're direct actors. Until we can get professional representation, educated enough, sufficient enough time, and perhaps staff to unpack this intelligently. This is extremely important because this permanent supportive housing, wraparound services, senior services, nutrition, inside safe, Project Room Key, which was Project Rape Key, was absolutely unimpeachably documented. Serial staff rapes. That's why we're important. Of course, this is not going to show up on public records unless you dig, like the Floyd Johnson, my dear friend. But I took that picture of his stabbed chest. I photographed that. I'm more than a witness. I know he was taken to UCLA trauma. I know he got all the records of the several hundreds of individual police officers deployed to that one unit, along with canine units and helicopters. And now again, so my friend Turtle is dead. His girlfriend, I'm very worried about her. I'm trying to find her, and I'm trying to find where his body is. Usually it's a cardboard box and in a freezer for 6 months until they burn him, and then some city worker takes a hammer. That's why I told Allie Mills, who's a real predator, you know, if they get me, I want an Orthodox Jewish. Even though I'm not practicing that, I am Jew. My dad was born in Nazi Poland. Jew. Racially, you know, I'm happy and blessed to live in a Christian nation. I've studied biblical literature, but I'm a Jewish person, and I've been attacked enough, so I don't want those sons of bitches to touch me. If they take me to my body, you know, inanimate, when I have to do my work otherwise through my music. And it is a wayward badge of honor that they've worked so hard and spent so much money to stop an unsigned singer-songwriter whose characters identify this. Reported and reviewed, removed, restricted, it's still happening. the child endangering Zuckerberg sites protecting Tracy Park. Our video of me attending a homeless committee meeting from the Venice Neighborhood Council, a subcommittee meeting with Emmy Award-winning actress Ali Mills as the chair, and seeing someone from Sexual Predators on Youth directly related to all these nonprofit shell company. Sydney Zamora, right there with all the kids. And I busted it, and was I'm past embarrassment. No other man's going to stand up. I'm going to stand up. I didn't want to. I tried to run. I couldn't relocate in a pandemic. I was tired of the concussions. Okay, you win. I got no point to make except I want to live. They wouldn't let that happen, so I came back with good God Almighty. I was amazed that it got 3,000 views. We used to play for 300 or 400 people at Madame Wong's, and what a sweet child. And boy, Esther Wong was so pleased with us. We could have Saturday nights and he's slap. And once I played a set of just one for 3,000. That was pretty scary. Every time before I performed, why did I pay so much money for rehearsal and recording studio? Why do I do this? No one forcing me. It's so petrifying. But then you get out there and you realize there's a connection, there's a mission that's important beyond the show business bullshit, and the comments on Mean and Restless were removed for about 2 years as it had its momentum. So I don't need a badge of honor. I need the proper vehicle to keep on working and get out of here. And there's a documentary, unfortunately, because responsibly with my background as a national magazine reporter, a national magazine journalist, and I have hard copies, dozens of pieces with national figures and international figures. I just fell into it. I got a lot of offers from editors after directing press for Rhino Records and making relationships with Johnny Carson, God rest his soul, Jim McCawley, God rest his soul, people that actually befriended me. Dick Clark, God rest his soul, and his wife. Both Dick and Mr. Carson had a son my age, and they didn't like those green room rats. They respected that I was working hard and only promoting music that I loved. Gary Stewart heard my Mockingbird Sings video, and he came to Horizon Apartments LLC, Rhino Records A&R, then Apple iTunes, then Liberty Hill Foundation. Board of directors with Eric Garcetti, with Mike Bond, and I was a progressive too. Just like President Trump was in his earlier decades with all those pictures of Hillary and Oprah and Whoopi, and Al Sharpton hugging him because he was concerned about humanistic themes, as was Tulsi Gabbard and a lot of people. So this isn't short, is it? And I don't look good and I don't feel good. I don't even know how many deaths I've covered from here. But I know the news van won't come unless it's Mary and that woman who was killed, because it's in the neighborhood where Hunter Biden, who's dropped in all that Clinton money, is. And then it's out. So I'll try to get a microphone. Try to get to Austin or Nashville. I want to get the highest top 254 Transit and get it outfitted for all weather and insulated for sound. I don't need a lot of that expensive shit in it. Just a few key things. I need the open space, the workspace, studio space, broadcast space, and a satellite for my professional recording. And I'm 74, but this is my job. So don't be an ageist. Look at President Trump. What does he work? He somehow works like 70 hours a day. Look at Musk while he's a kid. God bless him. Soldado Sua, listen, you're not going to corrupt this new administration right from the beginning. I'm no ideologue. I don't give a fuck about the homeless because that's a ruse. None of this money gets to them anyway. It's high turnover debacles like this. When Newsom did what Newsom in that 10-year plan wanted to do, what Dirty Roger Mahoney wanted to do, now over $1 billion in non-disclosure settlements, I think, for raping how many children, and then that extrapolating out exponentially as this otherwise unemployable subculture easily manipulated victims themselves, the intelligent ones and the ones with heart amidst them, and the UCLA Luskin graduates and the Loyola graduates getting their grants and filing these out. And it's more overwhelming and complex than you can deal with. So read that thing that I didn't write, that assessment start there with Soldado Sua. It's linked variously. I'm only working with an Obama Android, and through all this period, and it's telling me the battery's gone. That's good. Thank you, Lord. So Turtle's dead. A guy, an unarmed homeless man, was shot to death a few years ago, right there where I park. The one was found dead in a car a couple of weeks ago. The one found dead just over the line in Dogtown, Santa Monica. That's 4. The guy on Lincoln Boulevard, that's 5. How many directly connected to that one apartment? And after Mary got it, where were the real police? Because we've got the Rainbow Reset Chief, more fake police. So Tracy Park wants you to think she's law and order, but she's anything but. So they play 3D chess with this Machiavellian manipulative crap. And that's been defined and assessed in lucid detail that I'm incapable of right now. But not without a few fucking meals. Electricity. Maybe a shower. Definitely a haircut and a nice suit. A nice haircut. Bobby Rydell would have never made it if he didn't have a nice haircut. Deplorable since 1951. Good God Almighty. Buffalo to Venice Beach. Well, I used to like to write about mountains and moonlight. And I wouldn't put nothing down that would give the kids a bad fright. But now it's victim blaming, shaming, and they're taking out the good guys. Supermensch and body stench, and it's always been the same. A lot of people dead recently. Talking about by the Bank of America. Evan Spiegel, Pacific Palisades family gave tribute to Felicia Adams Keller. Brought Snapchat right here. How many kids were killed? More drugs disappearing. Apps, sex trafficked, killed, and otherwise. Read what we're offering you because none of this is monetized. I don't this because I am going national. I've already gone international on stand-up, which is why these bitches are so concerned. It's my last apartment. This is the microcosmic view of the entire hustle right here. All landlord management. They didn't even change the name during the Section 8 HUD because all that money, when he sold it back to himself and Venice Community Housing, look at this building buckle. Because the water table is higher than the basement in all these buildings. And that's where the GWP trucks were. By the dozen. Through the macadam, the cranes, the saws. But the reservoir tear was reported January 1st, 2024. Tracy Park went to Tokyo and Paris. First class with Karen Bass. I'll show you the pictures of the coroners here. Why'd they have to build this cage? How many evictions without attorney? To worse hopelessness like Susan, who was tortured for reporting, trying to protect other women. And Gary Stewart, who came here to try to help those women, ended up very public suicide on the city. Bobby Tillman's Santa Monica Superior Court. Becky Dennison right there. And Burnell Williams right there. From Maxwell Harris and Bridget Bell. All black women here. Run by white Steve Clare, white Carl Lambert Investments, Venice Fee Hotel, Morrison Hotel, and whatever suites that is, was a legal campaign funds. How much did Ladot pay for this? How much did the GOP pay? Well, millions. We'll get it all itemized. In fact, we'll get a goddamn good estimate and it really clear because during the lab rat lockdown and the socially engineered mob riots, Becky Dennison also brought orders right to Venice and some BLMLA members right here. They were lovely guys actually from Silver Lake. I mean, their hearts were in the right place. Their hearts were totally in the right place. And they were tricked by her too, just like everybody. They had no idea of the Black Deaths there. They had no idea that Sonia Greenland Reese, granddaughter of Arthur Reese, contemporaneous with Abbott Kinney himself, called Becky Dennison a racist, demanded a public apology for cultivating, quote, racial and cultural division here during the peaceful protests that were actually incredibly destructive riots that spread nationally. And we know the protocol for that and the players. They're happy to say they're at war. And their fundraisers, Becky's happy to, hey, how are you, and you, my dear friend, thank you. They're happy to say they're at war. And they have no problem with that. No problem with that. She didn't believe them, and neither did I. But I got blasted out of cognitive dissonance with a lot of attacks from the back by Alicia Adams, Karen, Becky Dennison's stooges. And then covered up by Chief Moore, Captain Censor himself. You know, guy, good job, good boy, you're so good, honey. You're good. Oh, there's two of you now. You got a new puppy. All right. You see this one here? See that? You know what she's got underneath that scarf? A little sword and club. Stan Becker reporting from Venice, California on the street where my friend just was shot in the head for trying to protect a woman like I did on that boardwalk one day during the pandemic. But the Venice boardwalk cameras weren't quite there. At the time, I was the first to get my hands on that son of a bitch on the cane, as old and as sick as I was at the time. And I want you to know I felt this arm on my chest, and it was gentle like you would your grandpa. And some big motherfucker just gently pushed me out of the way, sort of like I got this. Somebody else picked up a folding chair, and then, they didn't have to call the Stand Down Pacific Division. So, if you're homeless and you're in a car, and it's just not even people you don't know, mounting up in the recent half dozen, not considering your friend John and the 3 seniors that were killed in a 10-day period during what is never going down the memory hole because of citizens like me. So, it's odd call, staged events, Venice paparazzi. Tracy Park has 3-time loser sexual assault criminal Stephen Adler. The other heroin addicts in Guns N' Roses had a firearm 35 years ago. That's the Christmas she puts up. That's the special Christmas star rock and roll. Every fucking step I take is wrong. Every fucking step I take is wrong. Play a lot of fucking notes, say nothing. Make it loud. Venice.